me watch this first. Let Yachty real quick.
Let's start here
He's so fat.
because I just felt like it was the beginning of the second chapter in my career. You know, and I don't know what's next. I don't even know what I'll do next. But I just felt like, and I've had such a long career. It's been about almost 7 years in March, I think. And I've dealt with so much, and I've been through so much, and just trying to figure out my artistry and just myself as a person. I mean, I was a kid. I graduated high school, and then 6 months later, this life started. So I was just a kid, just going through life. So I was just looking at like my second chapter in my career. So I settled with Let's Start Here. Trying to like make them feel through music, because I mean, like, I knew it was, I knew you could do it because it's happened to me. So I was trying to give that moment to people. And then as I got a little bit older, then I started to care about how people perceived me as a rapper, you know? And that was my earlier career. And that lasted for a few years where I was like, oh, I got to show people I could rap. Because I loved rap, you know? And I think it just, my generation got like, my rap generation got a bad rap.
And you were the avatar of that for a lot of people.
Well, because I feel like I probably had the best public speaking. So I'm the one who did all the interviews, and I would, you know, and I was also like very new. So sometimes I would say certain things that may have not been the best thing to say, and that got riled up a lot of people.
It was colorful too, dude. There was a charisma attached to what you were doing. You know, there was an element of, it was a cartoonish approach to the way you were marketing yourself. So it got attention.
Absolutely. You know, it was something that I kind of tried to do with Teenage Emotions. I was just way too young.
Yeah.
Back then, I just thought you would check your email and whatever you got, the best beat, that's what you did.
Yeah.
You know, until like I got older and I started doing more homework on psychedelic rock and just getting into certain things that I loved. And then I dove into, you know, finding musicians and producers that could hone in with me, sit with me, and we could actually bring something to life. And this was the first time I did it, and this is the response. Like, this is what came from me actually sitting down and building a project from zero.
And I have to also just say that, you know, you have incredible taste in music and in collaborators.
Shouts out to Drake, man. I love him to death.
He loves you as well.
Yeah, that's my guy, man.
And you've known him forever. We saw you backstage at a show in Birmingham. Remember me and Larry?
Yeah. It's so crazy. That's the first day I met him. But our relationship has just grown so, like, being so tight. Paul, that's crazy. But so, like, being so tight.
Big and so tight, bro. I'm telling you, he is doing something to him. What's wrong with you?
Paul, that's crazy. But that's my guy, man. That's my brother, man. Like, Paul, that's crazy. Relationship has just grown so, like, being so tight. Paul, that's crazy.
So
but that's my guy, man. That's my brother, man. Like, that's like the only person I probably talk to. Besides like my team on like a daily basis, you know, like every single day.
He actually referenced that at the Apollo show, which was amazing. I mean, did you make it to either of those shows?
I went to the second one.
The first one which I was at, I'm sure they were similar, but the first one that I was at, to me, was it was emotional. And when he started with Over My Dead Body,
so
I was emotional.
So tight. And when I went to the second one, I saw the emotion in the room. And then that's so funny because I had a conversation with him after this, and I was saying to him, like, man, because, you know, when you're on that stage, you can sometimes feel it, but you can't. You know, you're like, you're in your zone, you're trying to perform. But as like sitting in the crowd, I watched everything, you know, and then I had a conversation with him after, and I was just telling him, like, man, you know, this music that you made over this time period has affected so many people.
He's legacy now.
Respect to everyone that worked on this, the four guys that worked on this album with me, but it was my vision, you know, and it without me, it wouldn't have been.
But even performance-wise, bro, like, you really owned this music. I mean, you would have made something beautiful and fun and done the best you could.
Yeah.
But I think you realize that you had to stretch yourself, right? Because these players aren't playing. This music is serious. I mean, a song like Drive Me Crazy is like...
Yeah, it's tight, right? We made that here.
Who's the female singer?
Diana Gordon.
It's Diana Gordon. Oh, sounding amazing.
Yeah, she is insane.
that little vibrato that she adopts in her voice sometimes, it just takes it to that 1970s folk thing.
It's so crazy, man. I wish people could see like certain rooms we made these records in. We made this in like a shack, and Mac DeMarco's shack behind his house, really small shack. But the song sounds larger than life. It's so funny because my mom she's an interesting person. She doesn't care about music, and I tried to play this album for her months before it came out, like maybe 6-7 months ago. And we were in the car. It was just me and her with Ryan. I was playing it, and she just was not listening. And I just stopped it because I could tell she just did not care.
By the way, when a mother or a father, at this, no matter how old you get, they don't engage in something you're proud of, it is still sends you back to 6 years old wanting to get attention.
Well, I mean, my dad loved it so much. Right. And I know my parents, like, I never expected my mom to be like, oh my God, the way the chords progressed here. You know, like, she doesn't care. So I didn't expect it, but she came to me the other day, and we were sitting and talking. She was just talking about how many times she's listened to it, and you know how she loves Running Out of Time, and which was cool because me and my mom don't talk about my music ever. So like I know she really likes it, and that's cool, you know, because she's never said that before. So that meant a lot for sure.
But your dad's the flip. Your dad's like,
my dad came and heard it in Sonic Ranch when Coach came, and he instantly he knew all of my references, and he was super proud. But I mean, my dad has always been proud of me, but I could just tell him seeing me do this type of music. 'Cause I got this from him. You know, I learned all this from my father at a young age. So I know he kind of probably felt the reflection and like saw himself in me. Wow. Hearing this music, he's super proud.
You and Mac DeMarco in the shack with Diana Gordon fills me with great joy. The thought of it, hanging out.
It was tight.
Can we just talk a little bit more about that experience? Because Mac likes to move in such a unique way. His latest album, his instrumental album,
crazy. He played the bass on "Drive Me Crazy."
He did. So gifted.
With the drums. So he played something.
Yeah.
On there. Yeah, Mac is awesome. I was talking to Mac last night. I'm trying to get him to go on tour with me.
Wow, that'd be so.
It's
amazing.
not guaranteed, but I'm trying to. It would be so fun.
I mean, talk about someone who doesn't like parties.
Yeah. Yeah. He was like, I don't know. I think about it. But he's always been so nice to me. And I've reached out to Mac years ago because I just always I've been a fan of Mac DeMarco. He's been the so him extending so much love to me is really cool. That's Mac DeMarco singing on Failure. At the end when that really weird singing, when I was doing that like spoken word talk thing, that's Mac too. Because he was making his album at the same time. So he was traveling around America recording out of his car, and he just so happened to be in New York. Well, actually I had been in New York for 6 months. So he came to New York, we were there, and he's friends with Jake Portrait, and he was in the studio next, and he spent a couple nights with us, and that was him doing that.
It must have been really. Well, you tell me the experience of recording Failure, because spoken word moments on albums are not uncommon. It can often be the moment that breaks the spell, because when someone shares thoughts outside of that chemistry of melody and music and tempo and dynamics, you've really got to like pull yourself into it. Yeah. And I thought you did an incredible job on this, because I think what you're saying and the way that you dressed it up was pretty flawless. I mean, what was it? What was going through your mind? What were you trying to experience? What was the feeling you were trying to achieve with this?
Okay, well, ironically, originally I didn't want to do it. I wanted someone else to do something.
Yeah. And who was that? Top of mind?
Anyone. But I realized I don't really know anybody. Making this album, I realized I don't have many like friends. I have friends, but I don't have many like musical friends.
You can draw on just immediately.
Yeah. And I also had this like chip on my shoulder of showing everyone what I could do by myself. Like that I could do this, and I didn't want to do it and someone be able to point a finger at someone else. I'm like, oh well, he had these features.
It's all co-signed, and
or he had this guy producing, which people still are trying to do a little bit, but I wanted to be able to like really show what I could do and my artistry and where my creativity could go. So originally it was inspired by Blonde, the skits on Blonde, how he had those two skits, and so I wanted someone else to do anything. I had a friend in the studio, and I was like,
he came back saying some funny shit. Nigga, low key, he just said it. He just said big and tight. Like, bro, I told you, he say gay shit. Come on. And he always say gay shit every time when they bring up Drake. I'm just saying.
Man, can you go in and just like
Homosexual stuff.
do a poem or something? And he did it, and it was so weird. It was so weird, and it got dark, and it started talking about murder.
Have you ever tried to do spontaneous poetry?
Weird.
Your subconscious will go to work pretty quickly.
Yeah.
You'll learn something about yourself real fast.
It was weird. So then I was like, just come out. I'll try something. And I just went in there and I did that. And it was just really true. You know, I feel like I don't go too deep into my personal life when it comes to my music. Because I just
You be slipping up sometimes.
don't really feel it's anyone's business, or care, you know. But I just thought I'd share that because I know in this generation, like the kids, they look on the internet and they feel like maybe they're not doing enough.
There's not a lot of inner reflection going on.
Yeah,
It's all just outside influences.
I'm still so young, you know, like to be early 20s, 17 to 25, 26, 27, it's okay to still be trying to figure it out. You're on the internet and you have these kids living these extraordinary lives, me being one of them.
And we always want to try to control things and whatever, but man, we have no control.
I mean, of the universe, no, but if you're on destiny, yes.
Yeah, for sure. You can charter a path, but
I don't know. I still don't think we got any control.
sometimes like
Life definitely does detour.
and the unexpected ultimately ends up becoming the big part of the fabric of the entire experience. You know what I'm saying?
Most people that speak on something end up dying. People that speak nonsense.
Our little Yachty's in the room right here. We're so thrilled to have you, bro. We really are, man. And I know we spent a lot of time telling you how great this album is. Let's Start Here is such a beautiful body of work and fully realized and achieved from what you've told us you were trying to do.
I appreciate it, man. It's cool. I just wanted.
It is, right?
It is. Like I said, I just wanted to be respected. You know.
I'm glad you said that because I think there were people who understood at the very beginning that over time this whole thing would unveil itself and you would end up doing something really meaningful if you stuck at it, right? There was a sense of like there's a uniqueness to what you were doing right from the very start that felt like it just needed time and patience and work, you know. But I can imagine that was really the quietest voice in the back of your head compared to everything else, and that quest for respect has been a constant.
Yeah. Yeah, because I don't think people, I know that people don't really understand how much I love music and how much it is it's my life, you know. And I get it from like maybe some of the songs that I may have made early in my career that may seem like otherwise. And the majority of these artists coming out don't care about music, you know, and they do, and it's just for fun.
Name the artist. You know how you be saying like these artists always say that, but they never name who the artist that's actually weak. Cause I'm not gonna lie, I could pick like probably 20 artists that's 10 times better than Yachty. I'm not gonna fly to you.
Fun or money or TikTok blow up or, you know, so it's easy to box in, you know, and I like to see what can I do, you know, like how.
Yo, Dick for the sub. Oh, bro, I do not see. What is this?
Far can I take it?
Yeah.
A lot of times I was like, it's how the fuck am I going to do it? Because I really I wanted to show the most love to the dark side of the moon without being like the dark side of the moon, obviously, because I'm my own person.
Sure.
But how? You know?
You had a sound in your head. That's the crazy thing. How do I realize that?
I didn't know how did they even do it? You know? But with me watching every documentary and all the interviews and just studying Pink Floyd, you know, and then I learned so much from making this album, and yeah, here we are, you know. I took a completely different approach with this album than I've ever did in the process of creating something, and I've grown so much and I've changed so much as an adult, in this process. So.
Oh no, you got me with that one. You got me with that one. I don't know how to say that one. What? Oh man.
It all plays a factor,
bro.
and it all
He
shows
over here teaching me-
in this album.
That's one of the things I'm loving about this whole experience right now is the fact that from knowing you as that young artist,
Yeah.
trying to add value to your story and not detract from it, which we've never done, and you know that. But to see you sitting here with that maturity and that growth and those miles on the road is awesome because you just have such a much better understanding. Even what you were talking about before off the air, which we won't go into detail on, but
Dude, he talk like a hippie that's trying to be like, he's like a bot that's not a bot.
allowing people the space to come to their own conclusion and not hold them accountable for misinterpreting you in the beginning. That's huge
Yeah.
because that revenge is what drives a lot of art.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the you juice.
Yeah. I definitely didn't do it to say you though. I just did it to be, like I said, to be respected.
You know, I think what really helped as well, and I have to comment on it, is that you had one of the biggest moments, singular moments, right before
No hablo español. No.
Yeah.
you had this album moment. So Poland comes out, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is Yachty at his most like out of space," and then you flip that with this. So the expectation that Poland's going to lead into you being the Yachty we know on steroids to being the Yachty we have no idea about was an epic. That must have been fun for you knowing that
That was
like
irritating. I was pissed. because
It's like a teacher, you know, he's trying to teach us Spanish and shit. That's a lot of work you typing, man.
I made Poland while making this album on a day when they were like mixing in the other room, and I was just bored with the homies, and I would have never dropped Poland ever, you know, because I was trying to pivot myself into this. So I was really irritated when it dropped, but I'm so
in my opinion, that song was ass.
grateful it did.
Yeah,
And
it was perfect.
yeah, and like I said, I really don't know what I do next. I don't know if I'm gonna do this again or do more rap, but I don't know. I figured out.
You know, ASAP Rocky was telling us that he would sing Poland to their little one, to their baby.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That
nursery rhyme levels.
That's so tight. I don't know what to say there.
That's cool, right?
That is interesting.
That's interesting, right?
I got so obsessed with
Give me a second.
how like back in the day, like you didn't fully know. You know, we're in a time period now. It's like everyone knows exactly how everything is done,
Yeah.
and why it's done, and like that's why like for the longest I was
Spanish is easy when you surround yourself with people who speak Spanish. Okay, all right, you got a point. But yeah, like I gotta have a what's the name for me, a translated thing for me for a while. I spent my time with like people that speak Spanish for about like 3. I learned the basic words, but I don't know that much. I can't go back-to-back sentences. You know?
I'm like I don't want to do any
It seems like you can understand English though, or you got subtitles. What's going
interviews. It's not because I don't like people or I don't like talking. It's just like I don't want to give away everything.
Can I tell
have
you
a
the
long
truth?
documentary on
I
it.
thought you'd say no to me, and not because
You're
we
the
haven't-
only one I did.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
but not because we haven't gotten along. I've always like seeing you. I think you've always known I've respected you even
on?
from
I
the
like
beginning.
football, yeah, I like football. Talking about
Yeah.
speed.
I just thought for that very reason, you're like, man, why would I talk about this album? It really speaks for itself. I was so happy you said
I'm money on the Chiefs every time though.
yes. I mean, it was a great day.
I honestly,
I even said this morning, oh, but he doesn't
Mahomes is the best quarterback. I don't care what nobody say.
show up. Remember, I had anxiety when we show
yeah,
up.
this is the one I would do if I had
Thank
to
you, brother.
do one. Because like I said, I got obsessed with how like I was like trying to figure out.
The World Cup. No, I know it's in.
Wanted to so bad. I wanted to see them making Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah,
and
Well, that's how you soccer, right? I don't know. I never got too much into soccer. I don't know.
there's no footage. You know,
Yeah.
it's just them being old as
Maybe.
talking about being young.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with the idea of like, because it makes you more curious when you have no clue how something was done. You know, so like I made this like full documentary of me making this album, and I was like, wait, no, I don't want
He
to
got so big.
show people.
I saw a little bit of that
how
actually
I
on
did it.
TikTok. I saw there was a couple of images that went up through your publishing site of it. There was some Polaroids that were on
From what I've seen, yeah, he is better. I'm not gonna lie.
the.
Well, that was for. I think that was for. Oh yes, yeah, but there's a full.
Full thing.
Yeah, like a full like hour and some.
Would you
change
put
of-
it out in like 30?
I watch boxing. Boxing is more what I'd be more interested into. Camouflage.
The years?
I got my money on Shakur Stevenson, no matter what, bro. And then my second place I Camouflage is Tank Davidson, of course. Then it's probably.
I don't know.
Been in like 30 years. Like, okay, so you're young, trying to find out how Pink Floyd make Dark Side of the Moon.
Right.
Okay, imagine if you put a documentary out in 2042.
Yeah, if I'm still here.
For the first time.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Probably. I don't know. I don't know what I'll do. I want people to be people don't even know how much I'm actually involved with this album, or even with any project that I've been doing lately, and I kind of like it. I like the idea of people like, he couldn't do that. He probably just
it's true.
Was there.
People underestimate you. It gives you the space to actually grow without. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like there's this meme of this guy sitting in the corner like at a party. I don't know if you guys have seen it. And I feel like that's me all the time, and with so many things that I just had a hand in. They don't know how much I'm involved in all the things they listen to every day, but it's cool. And I don't want to like.
I hate to break it to you, man. I got bad news for you.
Okay.
I'm afraid that secret is getting out there pretty quickly, bro. I hate to break it. I think it is.
People just don't know, Like
you're dying to tell us, though.
You can have an idea.
You're dying to tell us, though.
But it's not. I genuinely just appreciate people even listening. Like I feel like I've had a lot of records that.
I appreciate y'all watching this shit with me.
That's the better side of the trade, bro.
Yeah.
For us.
Well, it's just true, Like I just.
You like. Hey, bro, you talking about I look like Speed. I don't look like fucking Speed. Fuck out of here, bro.
Appreciate people listening. I appreciate people saying I would have never listened to it. Yeah.
Talking about you serious, bro. I can't do that, bro. I can't do that Speed shit. Nah, I'm not Speed. Nah, bro. I don't know if I can sing. I don't know.
I'm glad I did. I like that. Or even like anything. I don't know. It's good.
When you said
you smoke weed, I promote weed. You know what I'm saying?
That this was the beginning of the next phase. It was so funny because as soon as I heard this album, I was like, he can anime? Go anywhere.
I watch anime. You watch that shit?
Now.
Yeah.
If you can make this and choose the people you worked with, I mean, members of Chairlift, I know Mortal Orchestra, Mac, there's players.
Yep, Jake Portrait, Sad Pony.
I mean, Alex G, creator of like one of my favorite albums of last year, and both albums, incredible, unbelievable talent.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, hey, since you know what I'm saying, you follow me on, hey, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Everything I love.
It's tight. These guys are insane.
Would you tour? Can you tour with them? Can you take that band on the road? That would be sick.
It would be cool. But it's a lot to it, It's a lot to it. It's behind the scenes.
But what's cool now is that you can do. I'm just like trying to feed you with ideas. I'm such a backseat driver. You could do like your live show now. Could be all of it.
Oh, it's going to be
all of it.
Yeah, I have an all girl band.
Amazing.
Yeah, I just wanted to show like how sick